And regarding the other man, the telephone number that we had for him has been disconnected, and there's no record of an account.
Don't waste your time, Agent Scully. You won't find him. Just get whatever forensic evidence you need off the body you have. Bury it. Is there a problem, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, there's something else you'll find missing in there. An explanation for how you knew to be at the hotel last night. I was hoping you could fill in that line item yourself.
I'm afraid I can't do that, at least not at this point in time.
Why not?
Because whatever I believe may have happened has no place on an official report.
Then why don't you just tell me? Off the record.
If you'll excuse me, I have some catching up to do. The OPC did a number on my office. But I want to thank you for the quick turnaround on this.
Hello and welcome to Most Unwanted, an X-Files podcast. I'm Chex. I'm back.
Check out them healthy lungs.
And that voice was Luke, as always. Yeah, that was a long break, Luke.
A bit of one, yeah. I mean, how many weeks was it?
A lot. It was about 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, for those who have don't follow us on social media and just all of a sudden stopped getting their podcast feed through.
Wait, hang on a bit. What happened?
There's more moral to the story there. You got to follow us on social media.
Oh, yeah.
But for those who did, early December, I got really ill, so we sort of cancelled one of the recordings because I couldn't really speak, and then it just got worse and worse from there. And I ended up being diagnosed with pneumonia.
Yeah,
and then I was like, "What do we do now?"
Yeah. I think I could sense on your side you were like, I don't want to call this off, but I think I might have to. So I sort of made the move of like, shall we just leave it for this year and then I'll just come back strong in the next year. Well, hopefully strong anyway.
This is going to be the worst episode we've ever done.
They've forgotten what they're doing.
Well, the thing is though, Luke, so I was basically on my deathbed.
Yeah.
I've been hidden away all this time. Thank God. I know for a fact nothing in the world has changed.
Yeah.
Everything's the same as it was.
Pretty much.
So I got the UK elections to look forward to.
Yeah.
A nice world at peace.
Yeah. I mean, nothing could disrupt that right now, could there?
Ooh. So what's happened?
I know, yeah. 2020 starting with a maybe a big bang.
Maybe a very big bang. Yeah, this might not even air.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we know a lot of our listeners are in America, so I understand that it can be tense at the moment over there, and yeah, we're in the same boat as well.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, the way I see it is like, Peter, I like to make jokes, I like to sort of just, you know, at the end of the day, we can acknowledge things are happening. No, people don't come on here to listen to, like, what our views are on it or anything like that. But yeah, it's just, the world's gone mad, so I just thought I had to bring that up.
The best was I was listening to The Daily Show, which probably is, again, giving away our political leanings, if you haven't already guessed. But yeah, they were talking about it on that, and he was saying up until, like, I think it was the 29th or 30th of December, he was saying, I just want peace, I love peace, I don't want to start a war. Literally, like, 2 or 3 days later, he's like, bang, killed someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. This is awkward.
So, I mean, there's that, but how was your Christmas and New Year?
Yeah. I mean,
Let's start on a light
ignore
note.
the looming nuclear threat.
Yeah.
Let's think about the wonderful Yuletide we had.
And was it wonderful?
It was alright, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
It was okay.
And that's all we could ask for our last Christmas.
Yeah, it was okay. I had it was the first time in God knows how long that I've actually had a decent amount of time off. Usually I just work over Christmas, just because it's easy. It's really easy during that period. But I thought, because it's the first year in our house, For this year, I'm going to just have a lot of time off. Like, obviously, we got a cat and that as well, which is basically like having a kid.
Yeah.
The way we treat her anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just had like 12 days off, and we didn't do that much, but God, it was brilliant.
Sometimes
just
it's nice
not
to do
have
that.
anything to do. Yeah. So it was good. Just chilling out and enjoying the Christmas. I was going to say enjoying the Christmas TV, but to be honest, didn't really watch that much.
No.
Well, apart from Kevin and Stacey, I didn't really watch anything on TV.
No. I mean, it's watching just TV in general now. It's just sort of, it's all streaming services now,
Pretty much.
isn't it? But I mean, we've said that before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
How about your Christmas and New Year? How was it?
Yeah, I mean, again, hampered a little bit.
Yeah.
The problem was I kind of felt like I missed out on pretty much everything. I got better just as it was sort of Christmas. I was all right. New Year, I managed to actually sort of be able to go out. So I enjoyed that because it was the first time I actually sort of managed to celebrate the season a little bit. But yeah, much the same because I couldn't really do a lot anyway. So it was, but it didn't really get in the way because it was just spending time with family and just relaxing in general. So yeah, it was nice and I did enjoy it. And I hope all of our listeners had a really good Christmas and New Year as well. Sadly, we had plans for a Christmas episode and everything, but it just didn't happen. But I'd like to take this opportunity to say, Happy New Year and hope everything. Hope you all had a good time. Let us know. Send us in. Let us know what you got up to and what you've been up to in the break of this show.
And thanks for the tweets that we did have as well. Like we had a few tweets about Christmas and that. So I did reply to some of them, but we probably won't go over them now. But thanks to everybody who got in touch with us.
And on that note, like on a serious note, I would like to thank everybody for their well wishes for me as well, because when we actually sort of decided to quit the podcast, or not quit the podcast,
stop.
When we decided to put a hold on it, as Luke said, he was nice enough to take the reins for me. And like I was just feeling so sorry for myself. Like Luke said, I'll take care of social media. I'll do all this. Don't you? You just stay away from everything. You just relax. So Luke did tell me about everyone, and I've had a look over it myself since. And it was very, very, very thoughtful. Thank you very much. So we have been waiting for our Walter Skinner.
I know it's
centric episode.
It's been a long time coming. We left on that bombshell last year.
Yeah, we've been waiting ever since. So we finally got around to watching it. I think we should finally get around to talking about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. So we're going to be looking at episode 21 of season 3 today. Originally aired March 7th, 1996. Story by David Duchovny and Howard Gordon. Have we had David Duchovny write an episode before?
I'm sure he's done like some of the writing, or has come up with a story idea.
I definitely remember hearing notes that he's come up with it. I don't know whether he's actually been given writing credits. I mean, it sounds like he might have done, and I just don't remember, to be fair. But it's good to know that he's sort of getting more into it now anyway. And this is a new one to me from X-Files Wiki.
Oh, yeah.
Teleplay by Howard Gordon.
Yeah.
Is that...
Teleplay by Howard Gordon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he...
I don't actually know what that means.
They wrote the script of it, like somebody wrote the idea and then they sort of made it for TV, like teleplay.
Oh, I guess. So written by the story. So David Duchovny didn't do anything. He just came in with an idea.
He's the not Matt Damon. Do you know the writing duo for Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
He always what's his name now?
I can't remember his name.
Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Everyone always makes it that Ben Affleck just sat in his ass. He's the Ben Affleck of X-Files.
I mean, that's there and obvious to see by everyone. And it was directed by James Charleston.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a new name as well. I've not seen that before. James Charleston. We always do this. And it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. The problem is, I always think back to season 1 and I just can't remember all the random names.
Well, we were doing this over the break. We were just talking about the podcast and stuff. And it dawned on me that the Jack Black episode was this year. It was 6 months ago. We were certain it was last year. Or last series.
I think I get mixed up with that and the Seth... was it Seth Green?
Seth Green, yeah.
I don't know why. You know what I mean?
Quite early on as well, that one was.
I think that was the second episode.
Yeah, or second or third, wasn't it? Second, yeah, because Squeeze was third.
Yes, yeah, there we go.
God, a test of my knowledge, yeah.
We are experts.
In the loosest sense possible.
The problem is as well, I mean, we're lucky enough to have this platform, and we're sort of lucky enough to have people that are actually tuning in to listen to us. But it's a weird occasion. It's a weird situation in which our listeners are a hell of a lot more educated on the subject than we are.
Yeah.
But that's part of the entertainment, I suppose, the fact that we've never seen it before, you know what I mean? It's just a weird situation. Usually, if people are tuning in to hear about something, it's to hear about people who know more about that subject than they do. Do you know what I mean? Get insight. We don't, well, I like to think we provide insights. I don't know.
We have some insight, then everyone else is probably like, yeah, we already know this.
Yeah.
we get the symbolism.
And this is us having an existential crisis right now.
Yeah.
What are we doing this for?
What is our purpose?
So, you know what? Let's not think too much about it. Let's just get on with it. Let's just do it, and let's not think about how we are just the worst. We start off with Skinner, and he's staring intently at his pen. Turns out he's at a solicitor's office or a lawyer's office, and it appears, I mean, they don't explicitly say, but you can kind of pick up that it's a divorce lawyer.
Yeah, they hinted it right up until the end when he throws the papers down, and we see, was it the dissolution of marriage or something?
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I just sort of picked up on it from what they were saying.
Right as it goes into the intro, that's the last thing you see. But they keep talking about it, and everyone knows what it is. Like,
yeah, you can sort of pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird to see Skinner like this, because they're like, you know, such a matter-of-fact kind of guy. Like, he's sort of struggling on whether to sign it or not. He's reminiscing over the pen, because the pen was given a present to him from his wife.
Yeah.
Or his ex-wife now. And it was a gift from one of their anniversaries, but he doesn't really remember which one. So it kind of just shows that he still has feelings, but not enough to remember important information like that.
Yeah.
And yet, ultimately, he refused to sign the papers, and he angrily walks out. And again, I usually use the skip intro button, so maybe I missed the dissolution of marriage thing going into the intro.
I don't know. He might have cut it off. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
But as he throws it down, basically it says dissolution of. Is that the right word? Basically, it's a divorce papers.
Yeah. Discombobulation of marriage. I'm pretty sure that's
explosion of marriage.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
Destruction of marriage.
Disintegration of marriage. It sounds so cold.
I'm gonna use
my marriage is disintegrated. It's like Superman's come down and somehow vaporized your wife or something like that.
Well,
anyway.
When your marriage does get disintegrated, it's not all bad.
No.
That's the thing you got to remember. I mean,
as a newly married
man, and talking to I was going to say recently engaged, but it's been about a year, but it's still fairly recent in your life. A recently engaged man. I think we should discuss that it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because when you stop being married, you can go out, you can go to a bar, and you can go on the pull.
Well, yeah.
And that's what Skinner does, sort of.
So yeah, I mean, it's easy, really, when it's like
when you look that good. Yeah, it is.
And it's paid for, I guess. It's very easy.
So he goes to a bar. I'm assuming he's not going on the pool. I think he's just going to drown his sorrows a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah.
But when the opportunity arises,
it's big skin. He doesn't stop.
He certainly doesn't. A woman pulls up a seat next to him. Kind of indicates that a guy's been creeping her out. Wouldn't leave her alone. Kind of hits a really hard-hitting question right out of the bat. Asks him whether it ever bothers him that he's alone, and he has an existential crisis right there and then. And then next thing we know, back in the bedroom, they're getting it on.
It escalated very quickly.
It certainly did.
Yeah.
I mean, but good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Why not?
Why not?
What's wrong with there's nothing wrong with two single people just hooking up, having fun.
When no one's been paid for. You know what I mean?
No transaction has been made. Everyone's head is on the right way.
Yeah.
So we skip forward, and as Skinner is in the middle of the art of lovemaking.
Yeah. Because Skinner, there's only one way he knows to do.
Oh, yeah.
Skinner
Skinner has never had sex a day in his life. Skinner only makes love.
Yeah.
That's all he knows how to do. And he does it well, like you said.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the art of making love...
I want a t-shirt. Skinner only
That's
makes
our
love and
merch.
he does it well.
That's our merch!
Oh, God.
And then can we have the picture of him and his wife with him with hair?
That was amazing.
We're skipping all over the place here.
Oh.
So he's in the middle of the art of making love, and all of a sudden he sees, like an old woman on top of him screaming, and he freaks out, but he wakes up. It was just a dream.
Yeah.
Until he turns, pulls the covers off the woman sitting next to him, and realises she is dead with her head twisted
round, basically, yeah.
Pretty, weird looking image, but, it's one of those images where, when you're watching it, it took me, a few seconds to, what? I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Oh, and then he was like, oh, God.
Yeah, I thought she was just looking at him.
Yeah, but, I was like...
Oh, but her shoulders are on the wrong way. So, yeah, kind of get... I had a feeling... Because it was like an old woman on top of him, at one point. I wrote down in my notes, succubus ? Yeah. So I was
I
was happy with the solution to that.
He was right and wrong, so it's
kind of, yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Either that was the ultimate beer goggles that he was getting on there.
Well, we're yet to find out.
Yeah.
So we get down to... I didn't know whether Mulder and Scully would make an appearance in this episode, to be honest.
But... Yeah, there's some stuff in the production notes which was interesting about that, but we'll save that for later. But yeah, it is quite interesting.
Yeah, well, to be fair, for what I thought it was going to be, it actually does focus quite a lot on Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
It's still a usual X-Files episode.
Yeah.
Mulder is talking to Detective Waltos outside the hotel room. Find it very strange that they chose to use a detective called Waltos in a Walter Skinner-centric episode.
Just to make your job hard, basically.
I know, yeah. But he's in charge of the investigation. Mulder doesn't really believe what's going on, but he gets told outright that Skinner is a suspect in the investigation.
Yeah.
Not helped by the fact that he's refusing to go through any events because he's saying he doesn't remember, and he's also refusing to take a polygraphy test. Is it polygraphy? Polography?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a lie detector test. That's what he's refusing to take.
Yeah.
And so, that's not helping his case. He's looking guilty anyway.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think if you're in a room with someone and you wake up with them with a broken neck, you're always going to be the main suspect.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's not unusual.
It's not strange that he is the suspect. I did like, or didn't like, it just looked weird, the outline that they drew on the bed.
Yeah, I was like, why did they put the nose in?
To show you that she's...
I get what the imagery they was trying, and it was meant to be a shocking image, but they never put the nose in on those things. It was a bit weird. Mulder basically surmises, he's talking to Scully about all this. Scully's on her way to the morgue. Mm-hmm. And he's got two theories in his head. One is that he's frightened, or he's embarrassed about what happened, and he doesn't want anyone to know about it. Maybe that's why he's sort of just clamming up.
We did have some good Mulder lines as well in this one. Where there's one point where they notice, I don't know if it's during the autopsy or during the initial investigation. They notice that she's got irritations from what they say is latex.
Yeah,
and he says, and Mulder just says, "Well, at least they're practicing safe sex."
Yeah,
after she's had her neck broken. It's classic gallows humour.
That's just as they're going into the morgue.
Yes,
which is the next scene, and basically that's where Scully's telling him that it looks like there was no struggle. It looks like Skinner did it because it looks like it's just happened out of nowhere. There was no struggle because there's no lacerations, there was no marks on her. Like you said, the only mark there was a slight irritation, which suggests an allergy to latex. She, on her recorder, she basically reports that it looks like she can't disprove that Skinner did it.
Yeah. I mean, throughout this entire episode, it's like a battle between Mulder and Scully. Scully is rightfully taking the evidence as it is and saying he kind of looks like he did it. And Mulder's always having to go into bat and try and dig Skinner out using this evidence. But yeah, it sort of starts as it means to go on of Scully not taking sides and trying to stay, down the middle.
I actually think that shows a lot more about Scully, though, because it doesn't make a difference who is in the wrong. She's going to treat it with her standard of policing. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's not. It doesn't make a difference whether you're a friend or not. She's going to. But then again, she has broke the law for Mulder, so I suppose we all have our limits, I suppose. Obviously that's the autopsy. I did forget just in between that. We do find out that Sales, the girl that he met at the bar, she was actually a law secretary, but was fired for an indiscretion, is what they describe it as. But basically, turns out she was working on the side as a prostitute. Not looking good for Skinner.
No. This was the first red flag for me that this might be a setup. You know what I mean? It's like because it didn't seem at that point in the hotel that there wasn't any indication that he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like she'd been sent on purpose. You know what I mean? When that was brought up, it's like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sort of is basically what turns out to happen, isn't it? It's sort of trying to
basically. I mean, to be fair, all the way through this, I knew that Skinner didn't do it, but that's just because you know his character. You know what I mean? You know he wouldn't. But then it did sort of manage to sort of twist my expectations a little bit with the whole sleep-induced killings that they do mention. I was like, oh, maybe he's doing it and he's not realising he's doing it. But yeah, judging by the evidence so far, the only fingerprints on her body are Skinner's. There's no real evidence to point anywhere else. As far as we know, this is Skinner that's done this. The only weird thing about it is as Scully is about to leave, she turns the lights off and notices this sort of glow in the dark. Oh, I thought it was paint around the body's mouth. And she notes it as phosphorant substance. And it's all around the mouth and nose. She takes a sample and she sends it off to be analysed. Whilst they're waiting for the results, they visit Sadie's madame. I mean, is she a pimp, basically?
Kinda. I mean, it's less like...
It's more. It sounds more fancy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they probably... I don't know. I don't really know the ins and outs of escorting them naturally.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the weird thing is, I don't actually sort of... I mean, I've never really been involved in the world, so... No. But, it feels weird to me that this sort of thing exists. I'm sure it does in the upper class, maybe, but, the whole term madame, and, to me, it sort of spells out, brothels, and it spells out, 1800s, the girls in the big mansions, and you know what I mean? That's what I think of. I don't think of it as modern day. I think modern day prostitution is girls on the streets. You know what I mean?
It's weird because there's been loads of programs on Channel 4, obviously, as always is, lately, about brothels that still exist in this country today and stuff like that. And it's but I thought this was illegal, and it's mental that how many loopholes there is, and it's I don't think it's illegal. I don't know what it's like in America, but it's not illegal.
It's not illegal in the UK.
Solicitation is
illegal, so you're not allowed to basically advertise that you're doing it. But you can. There's nothing wrong with exchanging money. Yeah, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's a really grey area, isn't it? Yeah, so it's weird, but
because I only know that because it's the solicitation law that was bypassed in Amsterdam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just weird. You don't think it happens.
I suppose it's just one of those worlds that you're just not involved in. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Unless you, and again, not saying anything about anybody who does use this.
I am. Dirty buggers.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those worlds that if you don't know it exists. It's just one of those things. I recently found out that the flat that I used to live in. Yeah. Apparently, on that block area around there was about 3 or 4 prostitutes that lived there, and I was like,
really?
What? And to be fair, then it started twinging. I was like, I did see a lot of cars turning up, just randomly, and I was like, that makes sense now, but again, it's just weird. Like,
It's a good location for it, right next to the city centre.
right next to the train station as well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. But, yeah, again,
Hey, people got to make a living.
you got to make a living.
As long as they're safe, that's all that matters. So yeah, let's get back to X-Files.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Enough about prostitution.
Anyway, Mulder goes in.
They visit her madame's, which is her name's Lorraine Kelcher, and she's very reserved, wants to protect her clients, which I'd imagine is basically her job. Her job is to protect her clients and make sure that like she doesn't say anything to anybody. But they try and force it out of her, and they basically at the threat of getting all their clients called into the police station on a murder investigation, makes her think maybe I should just give the name.
Yeah.
And she gives the name Walter Skinner as the man who hired her.
Yeah.
Apparently paid by credit card. I'm sorry to go into the lack of knowledge of prostitution again.
It's updated.
You can pay by credit card now.
There you go.
My God.
Super pin.
Maybe contactless?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I went to a second-hand bookshop that had a contactless in the other day.
It's not the same thing, Luke.
No, it's not. But it was a pop-up, and I'm just thinking, if that has got it... Okay, I'm not laughing. You're just making this smutty now. Talking of smutty, Mulder is in his element here, because as soon as he walks through the door...
Business must be booming.
I think you mean banging.
Yeah. straight in there with it. I thought Mulder's going to be on top form for this, but yeah.
But he didn't really get a chance because she just kind of shut him down at every opportunity.
Yeah,
and
kind of.
I think he's more concerned about Skinner. But he does get the name, and when they get the name, it's not the name they want to hear.
No.
But as they are leaving, they get a call from the police station, and they get told Skinner is being released. So we cut forward to him getting released, and they catch up with him. I don't know how far away that police station was that they managed to get there before he actually walked out the door.
Yeah. It's a tall building.
It's a very tall
Elevators.
And maybe it was just like it was Mulder and Scully coming out of the prostitute building, and Skinner had just popped back.
He's like,
His first taste of freedom. He's like, I know where I'm going.
the prostitute building.
I forgot the name.
Is that on the sign? Is it?
Yeah, they catch up to him. He's basically saying, don't get involved, leave me alone, I don't want to talk about it. But when Mulder tells him that, mentions in passing that she was a prostitute, he kind of sort of does a double take. And Mulder, what I guess rightly guesses, he didn't know that she was a prostitute.
He wasn't aware.
Which, straight away, alarm bells going ahead. Is he being set up here?
Yeah,
because who's paid for this prostitute if not him?
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those things where you've seen it in programs before where, somebody's paid and sent them over basically to sort of pretend to be interested in them. And then, So, especially with what happened afterwards, definitely feels like a setup.
Yeah, definitely. But all this gets halted when Skinner sees the old woman again in a red coat, and he sort of forces his way, almost getting run over in the process, forces his way over to her. This woman's turned around, walking towards the door, and as he grabs her, it ends up being his ex-wife, who we meet for the first time, and who Mulder and Scully also meet for the first time.
Yeah.
Skinner takes one look at her and just walks away. He thought it was the old woman, he's not interested. And Mulder and Scully basically go through what's happened with his wife.
I've never seen a red coat in a program or a film ever be a good thing.
No, it always means something, doesn't it? It's in the red coat in the sea of black and white.
Schindler's List. We've got Don't Look Now, where he's chasing after the little girl in the red coat. I won't spoil anything.
So we move on, and again, there's a lot of scenes where Mulder. I mean, I won't go through them all, but basically, there's a lot of scenes where Mulder is just pleading Skinner's innocence.
Yeah,
and like you said, Scully's sort of at odds with him, but not really at odds with Mulder. Just more, I'm following the facts of the case, and she doesn't want him to be any more guilty than Mulder does.
Yeah.
But she's following the facts of the case, and the facts of the case are leading her to this conclusion.
Yeah.
And but Mulder's just got this thing in his head that he's innocent. There's no way he could have done this. He also suggests a theory, like you said, like you guessed right at the beginning, that the woman was a succubus. A succubus is a female demon who seduces a man to have sex with her.
Yeah.
In which, during the act, she draws out his energy for her own sustenance. He also, I think he goes on to mention something along the lines of, quite often they end up killing the person they're after because they're so infatuated with that person.
Yeah. There's a few things from the, because it's like a group of scenes, isn't it, with these where it's going
Yeah.
So like, when they're interviewing his wife, he mentions to, or she mentions to Mulder that he didn't speak about work, but he did speak about Mulder. Scully's sat right there, a bit harsh. Thought that was a bit mean. And there's also, when he's bringing up this theory about this succubus, and to be honest, it didn't really materialise into anything by the end. You don't know if that actually, well, again, it's just
pretty much not.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I assume. But he brings up this theory, and at the time I thought they mentioned that he's had this for months and months. It's like he mentions later on, or similar to the time that his marriage broke down about 8 months ago, and I thought, are they linked? Are they making the link that this entity sort of broke down his marriage?
Yeah,
and I think it's not in the end. It's just sort of again trying to make you think.
Well, I think that's the thing. You're left to sort of draw your own conclusions on a wrong sort of prediction, I suppose, from Mulder, which is not very often he gets it wrong, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like this because even though Scully's sticking to the facts of the case, Scully's the one that turns around to Mulder and says, actually, I'm listening to this story about this succubus, this demon that you're talking about. I think you need to hear about this fluid I saw on the mouth. Scully would not do that most times, and she's not being all out there, she's not being Mulder, but she's letting it go a little bit further to try and explain away Skinner's guiltiness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that was just a really sort of hint, but like it was a really interesting and intriguing moment, I thought. She passed it off as not knowing what the substance was, but she thought it was something to do with like a disease or something like that, or fungus. But she said she's still waiting for the results. They do return to the body to show Mulder, and it's all gone. And even when they phone up the lab was the tester that she sent in was empty. Yeah. So someone has been doing a cleanup job. Now it's obvious. Skinner's being set up. We know this now. Skinner then, he looks like he's going off the rails. He's drinking at home. Yeah. We find out that he's cut the phone lines. He doesn't want to be in contact with anyone. But to be fair, like he's going through a lot, and if he hasn't done it, he doesn't remember doing anything. Yeah. You would act like this, wouldn't you? Yeah. His wife visits him, obviously because she's quite concerned about him, but he insists he's fine. He does mention that he's not been sleeping well, which is why he unplugged the phone. Yeah. Which earlier we were actually, I forgot to mention, it was mentioned by Scully that he's been going to a sleep clinic. To deal with. I can't remember what they actually called it, but it was basically night terrors where people. They showed a guy running away from a train, and like in his sleep, he'd run away from this train, and this train would always be sort of catching him. I'm guessing it's like some sort of PTSD. Yeah. And Mulder thought it was night terrors, but it was something else. I can't remember what they actually called it.
I can't remember the exact name for it.
It was like REM sleep something. I can't remember. Yeah. But basically, let's just call it night terrors for the sake of it. And that's where the theory comes from, that maybe he's in his sleep, he's dealing with something from his past. Yeah. And he doesn't remember doing it, and that's why that makes it more plausible that it would be Skinner that did it. Yeah. And this is backed up here with him saying that he's been having sleep problems. So yeah, and basically, she keeps on trying to get him to open up, keeps on trying to just say, I'm here for you, I'm not going anywhere, you need to open up, I care about you. But he's really dismissive, he just doesn't want to know.
He's very old school, as in that kind of... You hear about it from people who fought in World Wars and stuff like that. They just would not talk about it when they came home, and he's quite similar in the fact that his work and his home life completely separate. He won't talk about it. Yeah. And he goes into that later as to why.
Yeah, he does, and he doesn't talk about his emotions really either. He's very sort of a closed book. Yeah. But quite often you hear about people like that who are actually doing it to protect people.
Yeah, basically.
And so it's a kind of a loving act, but I can understand being frustrated being married to someone like that as well. But she does say to him that she knows that he won't open up, and she just wants to let him know she was there, and she leaves.
I thought at this point, if she dies, he's knackered now.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. And then there was, it was a kind of nice moment where he, Skinner picks up this, once she leaves, picks up this photo, and like I mentioned earlier, it's Skinner, full head of hair, it's his wedding picture.
Looks stunning.
Oh, what a guy. Like Tom Selleck. Oh, it was beautiful. It was lovely to see.
I mean, you don't get better. Stunning Walter Skinner.
I mean, it was a nice moment, but I couldn't help but just a big smile going on my face as soon as I saw that picture.
I wrote down just checking with hair. Sadly, he must eventually fall asleep. Yeah.
He starts having sort of these night terrors again. He imagines the old woman screaming at him again.
And you hear like a car noise as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd actually pick up it was a car noise, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like a noise from like a car. It sounds like a crash at one point.
I didn't pick that up. I just picked up like this loud sort of chaos noise, if you like. But yeah, it makes sense that it would be a car noise. But yeah, he sees this old woman screaming, wakes up, and the detective's at his door. And like you said, she's been in an accident. She's been in a car crash. She doesn't die. Well, at least no, she doesn't die.
No,
does
she doesn't die.
I thought maybe you could perceive it as that, but no, I don't think she does.
No.
But he's been in an accident, and number one suspect is Skinner. For some reason, the picture's broke as well, which is strange.
Yeah.
But
just to make it look even worse.
I was going to say that's. Well, yeah. To be fair, that could have been planted.
Yeah, exactly.
So doesn't look good for him, does it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Skinner basically admits, so Mulder comes in, and again they're trying to sort this out, and Skinner admits to Mulder that he saw this old woman. He's basically telling him, letting him in a little bit, which he hasn't done so far. I think this has kind of helped with the fact that it's Mulder, and you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, he's more willing to believe this kind of story. And he might be dismissing himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, it's crazy Mulder, who's, you know what I mean? Like, if he believes, it doesn't make a difference, it doesn't make it real if Mulder believes it, because Mulder believes everything. Yeah. That's the way I took it, because he never really opened up in front of Scully, not properly. Do you know what I mean?
Scully had come at him with a science.
I know, and just dismiss everything.
And he'd be like, God damn it, just let me have my red old lady.
Just please. He does mention to Mulder, which is quite an interesting moment. He goes back, he mentions his Vietnam days, and Mulder recalls what we told. I can't remember what episode it was. It was this season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was one of the mythology.
It was,
episodes,
yeah. But I mean, it makes no difference. We know what it was. But we go back to when we've heard that he got ambushed and he was the lone survivor, and then he was close to death. And Mulder recounts all this. And Skinner changed his story a little bit now. Skinner says, well, no, I actually died. And it was this old woman in red that was there for me and carried me back away from the light.
Yeah.
So basically took him away from the afterlife. He passed it off as... Well, I think he said he was 18 years old and he could have been on drugs. He took everything that was in hand just to sort of get through life.
Basically, yeah.
But he does say that it was a recurring thing, and the old woman is back, and she's been back for a while now, and that's why he's been going to the sleep clinic to try and stop it. He's saying all this, Mulder's sort of, trying to reassure him, trying to just, get to the bottom of it. And as we pan out, as they're having a deeper conversation, we see cigarette smoking man watching on from behind.
Yeah.
I actually, not until I've watched this scene now, it's quite obvious that it's him that set all this up, isn't it?
Yeah.
But until I've watched the episode, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's why he's watching.
Yeah, he's definitely doing this to try and discredit him, I think, as they mention later. But
they do.
I thought Skinner here was Mitch Pileggi, I think, the guy who's
That's
playing.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was really good in this scene because it's
I thought he was great throughout this
yeah,
episode.
well, yeah. It's the first time we've seen Skinner really vulnerable.
Yeah,
like really
very
vulnerable.
true, very true.
And it helps humanise him because obviously we've seen glimmers of this before. But yeah, this is the first time where he's looked fairly hopeless. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do. And yeah, I just thought it was really good in the scene to sort of humanise that character. Really
yeah,
well, so
definitely.
I
I think this is a big turning point for Skinner. Especially because, again, they do go on to this later, but we can talk about it a little bit now. This ends up being a ploy by the sort of higher-ups to attack the X-Files.
Yeah.
Because if they can't get to Mulder and Scully, because Skinner's always protecting them, maybe get to Skinner first, and then the X-Files are left vulnerable. And that's basically what it turns out to be. So, to me, that means that opens the door for Skinner to be a lot more involved with the X-Files, because it has become Mulder and Scully versus the world to now Mulder, Scully and Skinner versus the world. He's been grouped in with that lot now, you know what I mean?
He's definitely become more an integral part of this project, I suppose. So yeah, he's sort of, they need to take the king out, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
well, in order to do that, he needs to get off this murder charge.
Yeah.
And Mulder's going to help him do that. He starts investigating he goes straight for the airbag and just starts cutting the airbag off. I don't know whether he's heard about this newfangled technology that they've got back at the...
We'll yeah. I mean, at first, they're talking, Scully and Mulder... Scully, I said that right, didn't I?
Yeah.
Scully and Mulder are talking, and Mulder's coming up with his theory about this succubus again, and they're talking about this, how he's going to have to go into a hearing. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh God, he's going to walk in again with his massive theory about there's a demon controlling him, and it's like... Cheers, Mulder. Thanks for that. That's
you're not helping in the slightest.
Yeah. But yeah, as you mentioned, he goes for the airbag.
I mean, it's a bit mad because all the evidence. I mean, there's no evidence that doesn't say it was Skinner. Basically, his car's beat up. It matches the other car that was wrecked. His fingerprints are the only fingerprints found. But Mulder knows this special technique, and he grabs his knife straight out of his pocket, cuts the airbag off. And sends it in. He actually sends it in to Agent Pendrill.
Pendrill, back on deck.
Yeah, as cute as ever, as always. But yeah, it's just a bit... I find it a little bit strange that it was like, I've never heard of this, and I don't... This is a mad technology. I'm fairly
certain this is not a thing.
It's where you can take the implant of the face that hit the airbag.
The most you could do, you always see, them rebuild faces and stuff from skulls, and you can understand that because at least they can work around the frame of the skull. It's just a face, you know what I mean? It'd be like painting a picture and going, we'll work back from that. It's like, nah, this is science bullshit going on right here, I thought. But at the end of the day, it didn't bother me too much because it's X-Files, you know what I mean? If it was a hard science show,
it doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. It's whatever pseudoscience they need to progress the story.
Yeah, they've got some new experimental technology. It's like, go
and
for it.
And it works. And we know it's not Skinner's face.
Yeah.
We know it's the blurry man's face.
Yeah,
That's all we can tell.
It's like Andre the Giant, you know what's
And like you rightly said, all this is happening whilst Scully is attending this hearing, which Mulder should have been at. But Scully was attending this hearing, and she defends Skinner. She won't go as far as to say that Succubus did it, but within sort of her reasonable explanation, she tries to defend Skinner, and it becomes quite clear that they're not willing to listen to any defence.
No,
it doesn't make a difference. If she could have come in with an alibi for Skinner on them both occasions, and they wouldn't have cared. Yeah. They have it in for him, and they know what they're going to do. And so, Mulder and Scully meet up, and they sort of talk about what's happened either way.
Yeah.
Skinner ends up being dismissed. From the results of that hearing. So they need to sort this out. They need to figure out who's done it. But they've got this face now, and now they know someone's setting Skinner up. They've known for sure.
Pretty much, yeah. And they mentioned there it's the classic move. If they can't kill you, they'll try and discredit you. Which is probably a better move because then it's like they've not got their hands dirty, and you're still just as out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. So they go to the only witness they know, which is the Madame.
Yeah.
Sadly, she's committed suicide.
Yeah.
Jumped from the top of the building.
Nasty way to go.
Nasty way to go. I don't think she did this to herself.
No.
This is a little theory I have.
Oh, yeah.
I think...
Quite the detective, aren't you?
But yeah, Mulder and Scully, obviously there's all police out there when they get to the building, and Mulder and Scully sees through it straight away. They got to her first.
Yeah.
So they're clearing up their mess. Luckily, there's one more person that they can keep tabs on and get some information from. Her name's Judy.
Yeah.
Who is one of the girls working for the madame, who saw the man who paid. So she's already got... She's a key witness. They need to protect her because they know they're going after anyone that was involved in this.
Yeah.
So Scully, they go for a meal, and Scully does agree, I'm staying with you throughout the night, but we need you to do us a favour.
Yeah, they're going to protect her. At this point, I thought, these are crap at protecting witnesses. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Their track record is horrible.
There's two things. You don't let them protect a witness.
Yeah.
Don't let them keep evidence.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they will lose the witness, and they will lose that evidence.
Yeah.
Have they ever kept any evidence?
No.
Like, Scully literally had a dead alien in her hand once.
She gave it away. Still got shot.
She still doesn't believe it.
Actually. Yeah.
But they ask a favour in return.
Yeah.
They ask her to use Mulder's phone and call up this person who paid with credit card, and tell them that she's scared, that she's been interviewed, she needs money to get out of town, meet me at this hotel.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a sting. They're hoping to set this guy up.
So, as this was happening, I was watching it, and I noticed that they were calling. I noticed it was raining outside, and then I saw them doing it, and I was like, they're outside, aren't they? And then
right
literally right as they cut, and it just turns
It's
out.
a cool little scene, where you sort of see Mulder and Scully and Judy all talking in the cafe from the car of the person that they're ringing. I found it fascinating that she remembers this guy's number.
I know, yeah, pretty good.
I mean...
Another fascinating thing, we're in 96 now. How small was that phone compared to the ones they've had before?
I didn't even notice,
It was like a little Diddy Motorola. Well, I say Diddy, it was still massive, compared to these days. Well, then again, not that much compared to these days. But, it was still
it's
quite
that hefty FBI salary.
Yeah.
Afford it,
They got that big old Motorola.
But it is weird, because phones sort of started to get really small from this point, and then at one point we went, no, we want it bigger again.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? It's sort of like bell curved, yeah. About, what was it like?
Do you remember the egg?
Yeah.
There was a phone it was, I mean, this isn't good for audio, but there's a phone what size would you call that?
Like 2 inches, something like that.
Yeah. And that was tiny. Literally, the whole appeal of that phone was it's the tiniest phone available. We can't get it any smaller than this.
I remember they were predicting, at that point, phones are going to get so small, they'll just be like an earpiece in your ear. You won't have to...
I went, nah. Get it as big as you can. Basically, people are walking around with tablets now.
Yes. I literally saw someone the other day with a phone and he was holding like this with a massive pen.
Honestly, some you can't even hold it in your hand anymore. Some of them, it's quick. You need those weird back attachments to the phones to actually hold it.
I know,
mad. But yeah, that's besides the point. They set up this sting operation. Mulder's waiting at the bar later, whilst I don't know why Scully and Judy needed to be in the same hotel upstairs, but they were.
She's close protection. Did you? Just one more thing before we get into the actual sting. Did you see what the guy's name was in the casting sheet? Grey-haired man.
Of course it was. Yeah, of course it was. Oh man.
I saw it, I was like, okay.
So descriptive. So yeah, they're waiting for these people. We do see Skinner, and he goes to see his wife. This was an amazing scene. I love this scene.
Yeah.
He has this really nice, passionate speech to his wife, who's in a coma at this point.
I had to tell you, Sharon, before anything else happens. I'm not signing those papers. For a lot of reasons, most of them I'm just realizing myself for the first time. Some of the things I've seen. The violence and the lies that I've witnessed men inflict on one another. I could never tell you that. Not that I ever stopped believing in the work. But there were contradictions that I couldn't reconcile, which meant shutting down part of myself just to do my job. I never told you what I should have told you. And what really got me through each day was knowing that I'd be sleeping next to you that night. Knowing that I had a reason to wake up in the morning. I'm not sure if you can even hear me now. Or if it even makes a difference to you anymore. But I at least wanted you to know that.
Basically, he's just talking about how that's what he... the reason why he was so distant is because he was trying to protect her. And he had to do that because of the things he saw. He didn't want her in that life.
Yeah.
But he still loved her. And I think he realises that he still loved her after all this has happened.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, her heart rate starts to fly. He goes to get a nurse, and as he looks through the window, he sees the old woman again. And he sort of... It almost like this acceptance flows over him, and he walks back into the room, and he grabs this old woman's hand, and then it turns back into his wife, and his wife's there again. All off camera. Like, none of this happens... She doesn't, like, morph. It's just, like, it's switched between the two. What do you think's happened? What do you think the story is here, then? Because it's not... I don't think it's a... Basically,
no, I don't think it's...
The idea is that this old woman's protecting him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this afterwards, and I had to sit down and I thought about it. I don't think it's succubus. I'm not really sure whether it's something to do with his wife or something to do with him, and he sees her in his wife. I'm not really sure. I mean...
See, the only thing I could think of, and to be honest, I just sort of gave up on that part of the story, to be honest, at the end. But, like, the only thing I can think of is... have you heard of, like, people who have, like, sleep paralysis, and they imagine that there's, like... They have a similar thing where an old, like, looking woman's, like, is sort of sat on them, or is sort of, like, in the room with them. And I thought maybe it was something to that, like a similar kind of sleep disorder. Maybe they see similar kind of things, and maybe it was just that, and it sort of made its way into his, like, waking conscience. But I sort of... that was what I rationalised it as, and I just sort of didn't care after that.
Don't forget about the episode title as well.
Avatar.
Yeah. Which suggests... What is that? Is that Shinto or Buddhism?
I'm not sure.
It's like a sort of Asian deity, and like a sort of a protection type thing. So maybe something to do with that.
It's not. It's a blue alien.
It is a blue alien. It is the blue alien and a deity. But yeah, maybe something to do with that. But I liked it. I really did like it. Yeah. I liked the whole story, to be honest. Yeah. But I had to sit and think about it a little bit because I couldn't figure out is this woman protecting just him? Is he protecting his wife? Or is his wife something to do with the woman? I don't really get it as such. But Skinner seemed to understand. Skinner seemed to accept it.
A lot of it's sort of left open, and even at the end of it, you sort of have a lot of questions about it. And I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt in this one. And people will be laughing at this because they know the full story of everything. But I'm giving it the benefit of doubt. I don't know what happens in the future. There's room for them to explain what this is later on.
Yeah, could be.
What I mean? So maybe there is an explanation to all this later on.
I don't think it necessarily needs it, though.
It might not need it, but...
I kind of feel like, as I was watching it, I understood it enough, and the fact that Skinner understood it, and the fact that Skinner came to terms with it, was enough for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And again, it's one of those things that I think it's not the central point to the plot. I think the central point to the plot is more about him and his wife's relationship. So I think ultimately how that ends up is more important.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't that arsed, really. But like I said, I thought maybe they'll explain it later. If not, I'm not too bothered either way.
Yeah.
So
no, I completely agree. But his wife, which is what makes me think there's something to do with it, this old woman. She whispers something to Skinner that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the hotel, it all goes wrong, basically.
Yeah. Naturally.
They find out quite quickly that the agents aren't going to meet... not the agents or like the people who are setting this up aren't going to meet Mulder. They're going to try and kill Judy.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, in the hotel room where they're keeping her, Judy's in the bathroom. She gets attacked. Scully gets knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Mulder's racing to try and stop this as he's hearing gunshots. Walks in, and what does he see? Skinner standing over this guy, gun in hand. He's shot. He's saved Judy, saved Scully. He just walks out like this murder suspect just gunned down someone, and the FBI just let him walk.
I know, yeah.
Like you don't know anything at this point.
A lot of it just seems to get explained away. He's like, he's fine. Big Skin's back in action.
Not even question. He's like, well, he killed the person who set him up. Yeah. Like no one thought he set him up. Where's all this?
This is outlaw justice right here.
But it does work because he's back in his office. He's clearing the tape off his desk. There's a cool little scene between Mulder where Mulder's like saying, "You haven't explained how you knew to be there."
Yeah.
And Skinner tells him, "I'm not going to tell you because if I tell you what I think happened, it won't make any sense in the records." And Mulder turns around. This is what I was saying before. Mulder turns around and says, "Well, tell me because I believe it. I'll believe whatever you say. Tell me off the record." And he's about to. He's literally on the tip of his tongue, and then he glances at Scully, and I just think. He would if it was Mulder, but Scully, because Scully's so...
I think he wants to keep his credibility.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to be looped in with crazy Mulder, you know what I mean? Spooky Mulder, he doesn't want to be. As much as he supports him, he still doesn't agree with his methods.
Yeah.
And so, he basically says, "Get out of here." Yeah. And then he goes...
little scamps.
"Get out of here, you scamp." And he goes into his drawer, takes out his wedding ring, and he puts it on. And it's a lovely end to the episode.
Happy ending, yeah.
What did you think?
I did enjoy this, to be honest. I thought the Skinner focus was different. I thought it was nice for us to not have something... And I mean, it was quite Mulder-centric as well. But it was nice that he was sort of the secondary character to Skinner. I didn't quite enjoy that. As I mentioned, I would have liked there to be a bit more explanation on the red woman, but ultimately it didn't bother me too much. Like I said, it might be explained later. If it isn't, it's one of those things you can live with.
Yeah.
But I did think it was good. Not like amazing, but I thought it was good. It was a good episode.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
But maybe a little bit... I probably rated a little bit higher than yourself in the sense of I actually thought it was like one of the better episodes of the season, to be honest. And again, similar thing. I thought there was definitely multiple ways you could see that what the mystery of the story was.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it as important. Really, I just felt like Skinner's resolution in his own character was enough for me to enjoy a resolution in the show.
Yeah.
And so, I thought the acting was great. And to be honest, I just love Skinner. What's his name again?
Mitch Pileggi.
Pileggi, yeah. He's great.
He's great.
He's so good. He's so good. And I really enjoyed the episode. I really did. It's great. Might just be because it's great to be back to X-Files, you know what I mean?
This is a question. Genuinely, it's been a long time since we've done this, so I've kind of forgotten. Did we do our numbered ratings before or after?
Before, after what?
Did we do it like during the...
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Yeah. Bit of on-air admin for everybody there.
Because at least now it's fresh in our head. We've just talked about it.
So, okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to...
No, I'll go first.
You go first. I'm not going to change it.
I'm going to go high. I'm going to say... We're doing points, aren't we?
Yeah, out of 10, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to say 8.8.
8.8? That's quite a strong score.
That's a really strong score for me.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, solid. I'm sticking with it.
8.8. I went to 7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that doesn't sound too good.
I think that's a good score because I always see it this way. People always rank high, and like a 5 is an okay episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I know what you mean.
Because people always, like, if something gets rated like a 6.5 or something, they go, "Ooh, that's not bad. That's not a good score." And it's like, it is. It's better than average. You know what I mean? So,
I know what you mean.
So I'm saying a 7 because I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one of my favourites. Yeah, wasn't one of my favourites. But
How
Good
did the public rate it?
Well, we'll save that for our segment later on.
Oh, okay.
The suspense builds.
Well, should we get to it?
We'll get to it.
Let's do it.
Luke's production notes.
David Duchovny initially suggested having a Walter Skinner-centric episode as a way to give himself a break, although ultimately he still ended up having a large part in the episode.
Oh my god, seriously? No way.
Maybe you wrote this as like a way to just, get some time off. But I thought it would have been really interesting if it was Scully and Skinner in this situation. But then again, I mean, I don't know where they'd rewrite it because he needed somebody in his corner. You know,
yeah.
So it'd have been tough.
And you can't have two skeptics, really, can you?
Yeah,
because then it's just the police.
Yeah, exactly. They're really by the book. These days.
Yeah. Scully goes, I don't think it's aliens. Scully goes, me neither. And then they walk away.
But yeah, so it's interesting that was the original idea, but anyway.
To be fair, like, I laugh about it, but to be fair, it has got to have been a busy schedule back in the day when it was like 24 episodes was like normal and it was every year. Now, let's take Stranger Things, for example. Stranger Things is 10 episodes and there can be 2 years in between the series.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's, production value and whatnot, but like, they've got to be working the majority. That show was going on for 12, 13, 14 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, they've got to be working, like, 8 months of that year, non-stop. So, yeah, I can fully understand why they want a day off.
I know. Duchovny felt that Skinner was an interesting character whom the show was not utilising to its full extent. Duchovny's idea, which was written in collaboration with writer Howard Gordon, also surrounded the conceit that what Mulder and Scully do comes with a tremendous price.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw. Skinner's popularity among fans had risen with his increased role in the episodes The Blessing Way and Paperclip. I don't know if any of those were the ones.
Paperclip.
Was it
Paperclip? I
Paperclip?
think it was Paperclip.
And these episodes helped situate Skinner's position in regards to Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, I agree. And you can see that in our love for Skinner because it's definitely grown since, like, I'd say the end of season 2, beginning of season 3.
I'd say so, yeah. Because, first series we thought he was a dick.
Yeah. Rightly so.
Which is funny because the next one, according to writer Vince Gilligan, Skinner was originally supposed to be a villain, but because Mitch Pileggi was such a good actor, the writers decided to make his character an ally to Mulder and Scully. I think you can see that in the writing.
You can. Yeah.
He's very much.
But it suits his character arc as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely does. It's the classic face turn.
Well, he's got to play the two sides, hasn't he, as well at the start. So,
a scene between Skinner and the Smoking Man was removed from the final cut due to time considerations. This reduced the latter's role in the episode to only a very short dialogueless appearance.
I'd love to have seen that.
I wonder if there's deleted scenes on like what that is. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's got to be somewhere, but. Another scene where Mulder confronts Another scene where Mulder confronts Skinner about where his loyalties lie was exercised when the producers felt it was too aggressive.
Okay.
And the final note on the episode's title: Avatar is a Sanskrit word referring to the material appearance or incarnation of a deity on Earth.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it's Asian because I want to say Chinese, but you've got to be careful. I don't want to offend anybody, but I want to say... I don't know whether it's Chinese or whether it's, like, a specific religion. I think it might be Buddhism.
Yeah. I've heard of, like, in, like, fictional religions and stuff, it's like D&D shit and stuff like that. Where there's, like, an avatar of a god and
that's basically what it is. It's like a guardian that was sent down. That's what it is in there.
It's their sort of representative, basically.
Yeah.
Right, so... That's the end of production notes. Now,
here we go.
Now, initially, we'd been calling this What the Critics Think.
Okay.
And I thought it's not snappy enough. It needs something...
You want snappy?
We want something different. And I've not told you.
Okay.
But I've written this down. And this is what I'm considering is the new title.
And it's snappy?
I think so.
Okay.
Right, ready?
I'm ready.
Crit X Files.
Oh, I love it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
There we go. I was expecting a way worse response, actually. But
no, that's great.
Right. That's good.
That's great.
It's made my day. So, the episode received mostly mixed reviews from critics.
Really?
Yeah. Emily Vanderwolf, who, weirdly, I saw on a podcast today. I was like, I saw that name and I was like, I'm sure I've seen her. She's like written a book on like X-Files and everything. Like,
really?
She's like a super fan of this genre.
Okay.
But anyway, she gave it a B+. She praised the storytelling, positively commenting on how it revolves around Skinner and his past life. However, John Keegan from Critical Myth gave the episode a moderately negative review and awarded it a 4 out of 10. He wrote, overall, the episode failed to capitalise on the idea of delving into the world of Walter Skinner.
That's harsh.
I thought
that's
harsh.
A real harsh score.
Yeah. So, that's some of the critics. But what does the public think?
Yeah, what does the public think?
IMDb, we've gone to that.
Okay.
With 2,655 votes.
That's a lot of votes.
We've got a 7.8.
7.8.
So it sort of falls in the middle
Yeah,
between ours.
yeah, I'd say that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, again, maybe mine's a little bit high because I'm just happy to be back watching the X-Files.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. And it's my right to do so.
I'll enjoy what I like. That's everything this week. So yeah, I think that's everything from us, really, isn't it? This week we don't really have anything to come back with as it's our first. We're trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, and
this week
I did look and I usually look and see what people have been saying and whether we want to read like stuff out that people have sent in. The problem with that is, A, we've not been on air for like 6-7 weeks, so no one's had anything to talk about.
Yeah.
And B, I could sit here and like read all my well wishes out that I received, which I received a lot of them, but it's a little bit egotistical.
There's one thing actually we do have to recommend anyone who hasn't seen it should check out.
Oh,
on our Twitter, regular regular tweeter to the show, Kathy sent us in something from the last episode that we reviewed, which was what was it called now? From Outer Space. Clive Bruckman. Was it Clive Bruckman's? No, that was the other guy. The guy who died. What was his name? It's From Outer Space, anyway.
Yeah.
I can't remember the full name.
Hang on, let's get this. Let's get this right.
It's not Clive Bruckman. It's another name, isn't it?
It's something. Is it? I've got J in my head.
J.
Like
Jay and Silent Bob from Outer Space.
No, it just began Jose Chung's.
Jose Chung's From Outer Space. So there was a scene in that where where Mulder is eating pie in a pie shop.
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah.
This is great.
And
I want to visit there.
Yeah, I want to know where it is. And Kathy sent in a tweet and with a video attached to it of her reenacting that scene.
It's so good. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. So if you haven't seen it, just check out our Twitter. It's brilliant. Can't say anything else about that.
Good chuckle out of me. To be fair, it's something that I'd like to do. I'd like to visit some of the locations. I know they're all in America, so and it's mostly in Canada, isn't it? So
a lot of it, yeah.
If I ever do make it over, I mean, I've been over to America, to be fair, but I've never been to Canada. So if I ever do make it, might be something I'd put on the agenda, sort of visiting some of the locations.
I know somebody did that with New York. They basically just made a map of New York of like famous film locations, and just went around and doing that. Like he was outside the Ghostbusters,
the fire station. Yeah. I'd love to do that. I really would. I mean, I'm thinking about. Just funnily enough, we're planning our trip to Japan over the last week. We'll be going later in the year, and one of the things Jem wanted to do was visit the hotel from Lost in Translation.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that's so cool. Yeah, like I mean, it takes 5 minutes out of your day, but it's cool to say that you've been there. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah. But yeah, I love that video. It's so great. I only saw it like a couple of weeks back because obviously I wasn't really keeping up with it. But yeah, it was great.
That's everything, I suppose, this week, isn't it? So,
yes.
I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, do get in touch with us. Again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. you can find us by just typing in Most Wanted Podcast and we'll pop up.
Yeah.
And yeah, let us know what you thought of this episode or future episodes. And yeah, we'll read them out, and it's always good to have a sort of different point of view when we're discussing it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, we'll see you next week for I don't even know what the next episode's called.
Quagmire.
Quagmire.
So it's going to be about Family Guy.
Giggity.
Probably. Straight up. You didn't even see my smile. I was so happy with that joke. I just sort of looked away.